tonight, so I'm going to make a note in the minutes about that. But assuming that we pass this with no problem, I think it's a great idea. There's plenty of people playing draw pile. Anybody have any reason why we shouldn't add that at roll? Anybody think it's like just, too much complexity or anything like that? No, we wouldn't be making a division so much as just making the ability to announce, like whenever, say when somebody starts a draw pile session, they want to share the IP of the session or the server name of the session, rather than ping everybody that's here or everybody in Discord. They just ping people who have that particular @ next to their name. So it doesn't bother anybody except people who want to draw them.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the question here is it too short a list of people to worry about? And is it too much clutter? Or would it just make things easier for people? Oh, was there? Go for it, Gubby. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, like, my only concern with doing that would be if there are people who want to partake in draw pile but then aren't aware of it when it comes around. Not like you just see some newbie come in and not know about draw pile at all, see the app mention and get interested, whereas if we sideline it, that would never happen, and it would purely have to be word of mouth.
That's a very good point. It's an extremely good point. So I tell you what, it seems if you take that into account, the fact that you want more people to know about draw pile, and the less people who know about it, the less they're going to have that role. I mean, you're only going to have that role if you know about it already, is what Goatman's saying. So it seems kind of a little redundant for us to add. It was a great suggestion, but I'm not really sure if it's the best choice.
I mean, we don't do that with Rocket League. We don't do that with PUBG. We don't do that with any of the
Uh-huh.
that we put. We have specific groups that we specifically announce to, and okay, never mind.
We're just done with Rocket League and everything.
Yeah, we do have @ for those different divisions. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by we don't. But
my mistake. I was not aware of that.
But no, I think you still make a good point, though, that if people don't know about that role, and they'll miss everything that gets sent to that role.
Same thing for the other roles as well, maybe?
But those other rules are already large enough to where it makes sense.
I don't know that there's anyone around here that doesn't know we play Rocket League, is what Josh is saying, I think, yeah. Sorry.
Well, I don't mean that necessarily, just that, draw pile right now, the question is, do we need this announcement system? It sounds like we don't, but we may in the future. But like Rocket League and Overwatch and our games that already have, like Overwatch, for instance, we have multiple teams we have to split up to almost every overnight watch now. That system's kind of needed to get the word out, because we can't just, at 3 or 4 people. We would have to at 15, 20 people. So I think it would probably be better suited to put more effort towards, making people aware that we do draw pile and trying to get the word out, which we can definitely help with, just like we did with Rocket League and Overwatch and stuff. But I just don't know that making a role for it's going to achieve that.
I think that's well said. I think he makes a real wrap up of what we're saying here. We need to get the word out to more people. Once we have like a large group of people doing it, it might make more sense then. But for now, we're cool. I think we should also take into account, look at how draw pile's grown. It started with just a couple of people, and actually Tessa didn't really get it off the ground at first because we had some issues with like what version of draw pile people were on and stuff. But once we got it all figured out, it kind of took off. So Let's leave it a little bit more time to grow. All right, let's see. Second thing that was on the agenda tonight was from Sky Ranger, who again is not here at the moment. He had some stuff he had to do. He's working on a mod for Fallout 4 called Essex County. And he's been asking for possible voice actors to play NPCs in his mod. If you have, number one, you have to have a good microphone. And number two, you have to be interested. If you are interested, please PM Sky Ranger either on the forums or through Discord. Just, maybe you could even make a small list of things you'd be interested in portraying. I mean, if you want something serious or you want something funny, whatever, I'm sure he'll have things in mind. But if you think you'd be good at something other than, just a regular old voice, let him know. But regardless, we'll see where that goes. I don't know how big the mod is going to be when he's finished. I know he's been working on it for a little while, and he's being very professional about it. So let's give him a hand. He also mentions that the newest update for Fish Sticks is really complex, so it's taking a little time. He's still looking for people to drop by the thread on the forums for leaving suggestions that you might have for additions to Fish Sticks. Any kind of features you'd like to request, please talk to him about it or leave it in that forum thread. People are always coming up with interesting ideas, so if you have one, don't worry about sharing it. He wants to hear them. Alrighty, and the last thing is Shada, and I might hand this to you, Shada, if you want me to. She basically was talking about mobile game playthroughs on YouTube. Anybody interested? Did you want to say something on it, Shada?
She had to step away for a second. She's right here, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, kid. Let me post a quick test that I did earlier, and so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about.
It's a baby.
Of course. Yeah. I might have to go to texting for this, but yeah, basically it's I just thought I can make YouTube videos of some of the video games, mobile games, and it would have to go, of course, be just Android. I don't have an iPhone. And if people have suggestions, I'm happy to look them up, and if it's not too much, I can, I'll buy the game and play through it and check things out. And I'm assuming like I'm only going to do like 5-minute segments, unless like it's like people are like, no, do 30 minutes kind of thing. But I just want to, first of all, feel out, even if you guys don't have time, would you guys be interested?
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I'm not only interested. I'm always on the lookout for ways that we could use all of CC's different assets to, interest people in new things. I think this is a great idea. We have PC gamers in our community, but we often get people from consoles. But there's people out there that call themselves gamers that all they do is play on their mobile devices and stuff. There's no reason why we can't include all those people, all those Christians in our community in different ways. So yeah, I love this idea.
Well, like the first thing I can do is I can do draw pile.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. It's also we have lots of different levels of creators in our community. And I mean, for example, the way you have this mobile recording test, it looks pretty good. It looks really clean. It's not like you videotaping your phone in your hand with like a GoPro. I mean, it doesn't look stupid.
Yep. And actually, if that's just a free version of that, the software I'm using, you may say, if I purchase it, which it's not that much, I can put a custom watermark image. So one of my questions is, do you guys want me to do this on the CCG YouTube, or should I just put them on my YouTube? And if it's on the CCG, we can get a custom watermark going and, have that, CCG, or Christian Grew watermark.
Well, I can't speak for the community. I want to make a very clear point here that When I say in meetings I want people to be involved, I'm not talking about just myself. I'm talking about everybody. We have people with so many talents in so many different areas in our community that they come here and they game, and that's all they ever do. You have me at your disposal. I would be happy to help with introductions to it and endings to it. I'll make watermarks for you, and I would prefer to see it on the CC channel because I think this is another way that we would simply pick up followers. For example, we've had Facebook since 2011, but only in the last couple of years of constantly posting things on Facebook do we have a really large audience. You have to keep at it. You have to keep people interested. We have nearly 100 followers on YouTube, but if we had something coming in like, once a month, once a week, however often you want to do this, that will slowly rise, and that will be more and more people being exposed to what we do and how we do it. So I think that a lot of people could take part in this. I would love to see it on CC channel.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I mean, you never know. Other people might want to follow your example and come up with stuff.
I'm thinking, once every other week or something like that, and basically see how I can, what I can do with Kid and see how that goes.
Absolutely. We're not going to hold you to any kind of schedule or anything if you want to do that. Just get with me and tell me what you'd like to see as far as a logo or anything like that. If you'd like any kind of video intros or outros or anything like that, I can give you a hand. Be happy to.
Yeah, that would be something to talk about later. And Sean, is this a question for what we're talking about right now?
No, but I was just had an idea if to bring up.
Okay, hold on. Let's finish this up and then we'll get to you.
Yeah, but I would gladly support the whole thing that you're doing, and support in any way I can, which would
Views.
yeah, and I can share the videos and share the channel, which would make it grow even more. But I would love to help in any way I can.
So what I'll be doing then is I'll make a forum post to check more on the interest and see if anyone has, other than draw something, if people have something like, hey, do this one or do that one, go from there.
Well, that's another thing I want to bring up is that I don't know if you have the ability to stream this at all, Shadow? Or potentially in the future stream it?
I haven't actually looked up the option of streaming from a mobile phone, actually, so I do not know if that's possible or not.
Oh, it is, but
okay.
Well, another thing you should know also is streaming doesn't have to be live. Streaming can be you make a video and you produce your video and you have all the elements that make up a YouTube video, but then you stream it live. So it's not a live file, but then you stream it later.
Yes, yeah.
And the reason I bring that up is because we can actually stream on Twitch, on Microsoft's Beam, on YouTube, on Facebook, all of them all at the same time. So we could interest people in multiple different venues if we come up with something that's really getting noticed. Just throwing that out there. No pressure.
I mean, if we could even go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I mean, we could even do it on Twitch if at all possible, which is another thing we could do. But yeah, go on.
Well, yeah, I mean, what I meant about streaming was, like I said, it doesn't have to be live. You can you can make your recording, Shadow, when you're in a place where maybe when she's asleep or what have you, and then we can just we can stream your pre-recorded video that is well produced and sounds great and has music and everything else as if it were live.
Okay, curiosity though, why not just post it or publish it kind of thing? What's benefit of streaming a pre-recorded one?
Because if you were to, let's say you put together 5 or 6 of these, we could schedule them. So we could say, oh, if you show up on a Wednesday, you show up on a Wednesday for the next 5 weeks, we have shows of this. And if it starts really, becoming a thing, and you do it every, on a schedule, then you'll be ahead by 5 episodes. Does that make sense? Again, this isn't something you have to do a lot of or anything. Basically, just saying that it's something that could be a draw in the future. So
Definitely. I'll
exactly, cousin.
So I'm pretty much done unless people have questions.
Okay, well, just to expand on that idea just a hair, I would also like to throw out that, that this could also be done with Draw Something. Just to show you, CC has been on Twitch for quite some time. And just recently, we had somebody who jumped on the Twitch channel and streamed a couple of times. I think it's been 3 times now. And only because that person had a lot of support and a lot of people who just were interested in seeing what they had to share, that absolutely blew our numbers away. We went far and away more popular than we've been because of that person streaming. We now have a new set of numbers as far as people we've reached and stuff. We were already being shared on multiple channels and stuff, but I think during the recent streams, we've reached more than 10 people at once, which if we could keep that up, we could eventually, build that into something and become a partner and so on.
Well, I have plans for later on for some of that. I just need to get one piece of equipment at least to go with what I want to think about. So I'll talk about that later, though.
Absolutely. Anybody that ever has any problems or any questions or any thoughts on anything that has to do with streaming or video or anything like that, you're welcome to ask. I'm pretty well versed in most of that. And this goes back to some stuff I've said in the past. Real quick, we have a diverse pool of talents in our community. And yes, we're a gaming community. So if you come here and you just want to hang out with your friends and game, that's cool. If that's all you want to do, that's cool. Having said that, we have a bill once a year for our website and forums, and it has been paid as of October for at least 12 months. We don't have to pay another web server bill. Our web server and our website have the capability to share just about any kind of content you've ever seen on the internet. We could share, quizzes and forums and polls and videos, and you name it, we can do it. So if you have an idea of something that would reach out to people, I am not saying anything negative about CC. I'm not saying that CC's got issues at all. I'm suggesting that we could use ministry, we could use outreach, and if you have a skill that you'd like to use in our community, we'd love to have you. So just suggest it. That's one of the things our meetings are for. This idea that Shada's talking about is exactly the kind of stuff that I think could bring in new people. There are going to be some people that are going to be on YouTube kind of bored, and they're going to maybe type mobile games in, and boom, they're going to find CC just for that. Let's cater to interests that people have, and see if we can bring them in and introduce them to Christ. That's another reason we're here, besides fellowshipping and gaming with each other. Does anybody else have any open meeting business this evening? What do you have, Sean?
I was gonna say, if you're talking about earlier that we could, I don't know, do like outreach or something. Is there a possibility we could meet up at like a hotel or something, like on the weekends, and like do a retreat or something with everybody, like meet up together? Could we possibly do that and like do something together, like as a retreat or something, like everybody meet up at the hotel? Like, could we have like a meeting, like meet up somewhere?
CC has had a number of a number of times where they've thrown together meetings in different parts of the country, but since we're all over the map, it's up to our members to throw those together. What do you have, Cappy?
What games do you allow on streams? Like, what's the rating that you guys allow?
The rating, G, rated G. If you're playing a game that's got a little bit of violence or whatever, in the evenings we might go to like a PG-13 kind of thing, but we would prefer G-rated most of the time.
Okay. Well, I actually have a problem with streaming a game like that. I played Diablo. I mean, because I grew up playing it. But I mean, is that a problem with me playing that, or?
Where he was asking specifically on our stream.
Okay. I was gonna say, because like, should I be streaming games like that? I mean, even though I grew up playing the game a long time ago, like, should I not be playing it, or?
Yeah, this is a completely different topic, Sean. Where we're not talking about games that members play, and we have no control over what you play. We're talking about, specifically speaking, we're talking about what we would stream, and in this case, Cappy, I do kind of agree with what you said above. CC After Dark, we have generally an E rating. Every once in a while, we might go to like a. I don't want to flirt with M. M is kind of touchy. It's like saying I would not have a problem with somebody streaming like ROE, for example, or PUBG or something like that. But once you start getting into single player games that have like a wealth of cussing and stuff, once you start getting into games that have nudity and things like that, no, absolutely not.
Like Grand Theft Auto, for instance, that game's kind of bad.
At the moment, I probably would say that our stream team would stay away from horror games as a genre.
Oh.
It's really kind of up in the air. It depends on what time of day, that sort of thing. But in a general sense, we want to stay away from stuff that has that sort of storyline. I mean, it kind of depends. It's like we have people here who play like Left 4 Dead 2, for example. Do we want to stream it? We'd have to talk about it. Well, see, that would be a case, Cappy, where a person might want to approach a few leaders and have them take a look at a couple of gameplay videos. Yeah, exactly as Kratos is saying. We can talk about specifics if enough people get interested.
Dead by Daylight would be one, wouldn't it? Because Dead by Daylight's kind of one of those games, isn't it?
Yeah, again, this is kind of off topic. This is kind of something that we could schedule like a very specific meeting for. Having said that, yeah, Cappy, just get with us, and this is kind of the thing. This is what I'm saying is people need to come up with thoughts and ideas for what they'd like to do. The reason some people think the reason that I bring up stuff like this all the time at meetings is because I really want to lead a team of people. That's just like what makes me tick. I really like leading people, and that's not what the case is. The case is CC has all these assets and all these things that are paid for that are not being used to their fullest potential to reach people. And I think that we have people, like when we do the newsletters, I've given up on making newsletters, and I'll tell you, there's 2 or 3 people, one of which is in this room, Cappy Man, who would send me wonderful stuff, and it did not stop sending me wonderful stuff. But when I have 5 or 6 people that I have to chase down every month to come up with articles for those newsletters, it's kind of like, it's too much trouble. So if you want to be part of something, go for it. If you want to reach people, go for it. But don't get involved and interested if you don't think you're going to stick with it. I just want to make sure that CC is leveraging all of the abilities that it has to reach people, because just to give you a really off the wall example, we'll have a post on Facebook now that will have a comment about Christianity in general, and people won't reply to it like they won't reply like saying what they think or something like that. Sometimes they'll just tag people. I've had people I've never heard of tag other people I've never heard of to posts that we have that are about the church, that are about Christianity in general. And they're pointing it out to their friends because they're going, how true is this? And this is just some post that we shared. But it's reaching a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. We've had a few people come and talk to us on Discord that found us on Facebook simply because of some cartoon that got posted. So what I'm trying to say is we just need to use more of what CC is about and more of what CC are as people to reach people, and to that's how our community used to grow, and I'd like to see more of it. That's all.
Do we have a Twitter at all, or do we not have a Twitter?
We do have a Twitter, but it just parrots what we post on Facebook because we don't have anybody constantly on Twitter. Well, Cappy, you know that anytime you got any thoughts, just come to me, man, because you're one of those people that's always been around to help when you could. You never faltered when it was the newsletter. Like I said, there were people I had to chase down, so it was just so much trouble.
Hey, Neo. I had another idea. Is there someone that would be willing to make overlays for like the CCG members who stream? Like, would they be willing to make us overlays, like to say like CCG member, whatever, like, or something cool?
I've done that in the past. We used to have a stream team in the past, a group of people that they were all getting overlays and they were all getting all these little OBS sources that they could use so they could be on the CC stream team. And only one of those people streamed regularly. And because that dude is married now and having a child, he doesn't have time to stream for us anymore. So again, this is a matter of we can do lots of things, and any of our leaders that have skills will do anything we can to support the members that want to do things. But I'm not going to expend a bunch of energy for someone if like they wanted to do something and then next week they don't want to do it. And as you can see, Kratos is again saying this would be great if we had a streaming meeting. So we'll close that particular topic. Does anybody else have any more open meeting business? Do our division leaders have anything they want to share about tournaments or anything of the like? Anybody at all? Sky Ranger, I don't know if you're here, but we kind of glossed very quickly over what you had to say in the agenda. Anything you want to add to that? What do you got, Cappy?
So, Wash and I are doing an Extra Life Gameathon. We're probably going to be doing it together. I don't know if he wanted me to about it or not. So, but Wash and I are going to participate in this year's Extra Life. If anyone's interested in doing Extra Life, let one of us know and we'll get with you. For those who know what Extra Life is. Extra Life is a 24-hour gameathon, pretty much where you play tabletop games, computer games, mobile games, so on and so forth, for 24 hours straight to raise funds for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I know that Wash already has his things set up. I'm still working on getting my things set up and stuff like that. But if anybody else is interested in doing this, one of us know and we'll help you guys out getting signed up for it. If you're just interested in keep us company for 4 hours straight while we struggle to stay awake, that's perfectly fine too.
Yeah, just to interject here for you guys that are asking what Extra Life is, to put a fine point on it. Basically, it's like a telethon to raise money, and what they're doing is they're playing games for 24 hours, and they're asking for people to pledge money. So, like, for every hour that they play a game, a person pledges a certain amount of money, and if they're successful in going through their entire 24 hours, they're hoping that the people who pledge money for all 24 of those hours will pony up the money, and that money will go to charity. And there's a link for you. And as far as I know, Cappy, you've done this for what, the last 2 years running for sure, right?
No, I'm going on my 9th year.
Well, I know that you've had forum threads on it before, so.
Yeah, I've had forum threads on it before, but before I came into CCG or CC, I did it for about 7 years before. So this is going to be my 9th year overall.
Oh well. Alrighty, well, in that case, thank you for bringing that up, because that's absolutely nothing wrong with finding a cool way to tie gaming into charity work. So, and as usual, we'll be looking for your thread when you decide to post it. Okay, this will be the last call. Does anybody else have any open meeting business? Because we do have a closed meeting to get to. Anybody else have any suggestions, thoughts, questions at all?
One more thing, I guess. There's a goal I'm going to be having where in the future I'm going to be putting up a thing where I am going to be doing money, where there's this thing that I do at my church where it's like a thing where we send boxes to children. I can't remember what it's called, but my goal is
Operation Christmas Child?
Yes. My goal is to, did you see those life straw things? My goal is to put just in my church, one life straw in every box that they send. And now this is a future thing, but that's just kind of a thought that I would want to tell you guys. So, yeah. That's all.
Alrighty. Well, also remember, whenever you do stuff like that, you're welcome to jump on the forums and make a post about it, let people know about it, and link any kind of websites that might have anything to do with it, that kind of thing, just so people know about it.
Yep.
We appreciate everybody coming out this evening and talking with us and letting us know what you think.